The task of financial institutions is to take risks and, if well managed, to ensure that potential losses to themselves will be covered. The emphasis is on to themselves. Under state capitalist rules, it is not their business to consider the cost to others, the externalities of decent survival, if their practices lead to financial crisis, as they regularly do. Financial liberalization has effects well beyond the economy. It has long been understood that it is a powerful weapon against democracy. Free capital movement creates what some have called a virtual parliament of investors and lenders who closely monitor government programs and vote against if they are considered irrational for the benefit of the people rather than concentrated private power. Investors and lenders can vote by capital flight, attacks on currencies and other devices offered by financial liberalization. That is one reason why the Bretton Woods system established by the United States and Britain after the Second World War instituted capital controls and regulated currencies. The Great Depression and the war had aroused powerful radical democratic currents ranging from the anti-fascist resistance to working class organization. These pressures made it necessary to permit social democratic policies. The Bretton Woods system was designed in part to create a space for government action responding to public will for some measure of democracy. John Maynard Keynes, the British negotiator, considered the most important achievement of Bretton Woods to be the establishment of the right of governments to restrict capital movement. In dramatic contrast, in the neoliberal phase after the breakdown of the Bretton Woods system in the 1970s, the United States Treasury now regards free capital mobility as a fundamental right, unlike such alleged rights as those guaranteed by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, health, education, decent employment, security, and other rights that the Reagan and Bush administrations have dismissed as letters to Santa Claus, preposterous, and mere myths. In early years, the public had not been much of a problem. The reasons are reviewed by Barry Green in his standard scholarly history of the international monetary system. He explains that in the 19th century, governments had not yet been politicized by universally male suffrage and the rise of trade unionism and parliamentary labor parties. Therefore, the severe costs imposed by the virtual parliament could be transferred to the general population. But with the radicalization of the general public during the Great Depression and the anti-fascist war, that luxury was no longer available to private power and wealth. Hence, in the Bretton Woods system, limits on capital mobility substituted for limits on democracy as a source of insulation from market pressures. The obvious corollary is that after the dismantling of the post-war system, democracy is restricted. It has therefore become necessary to control and marginalize the public in some fashion, process particularly evident in the more business-run societies like the United States. The management of electoral extravagances by the public relations industry is one illustration. Politics is the shadow cast on society by big business, concluded America's leading 20th century social philosopher John Dewey, and will remain so as long as power resides in business for private profit through private control of banking, land, industry, reinforced by command of the press, press agents, and other means of publicity and propaganda. The United States effectively has a one-party system, the business party, with two fractions, Republicans and Democrats. There are differences between them. In his study Unequal Democracy, the Political Economy of the New Gilded Age, Larry Bartol shows that during the past 6 decades, real income of middle-class families have grown twice as fast under Democrats as they have under Republicans, while the real incomes of working poor families have grown 6 times as fast under Democrats as they have under Republicans. Differences can be detected in the current election as well. Voters should consider them, but without illusions about the political parties, and with the recognition that consistently over the centuries, progressive legislation and social welfare have been won by popular struggles, not gifts from above. Those struggles follow a cycle of success and setback. They must be waged every day, not just once every 4 years, always with the goal of creating a genuinely responsive democratic society, from the voting booth to the workplace.